Two Pilsners. An American Pilsner called Fish Camp Pils from Veterans United Craft Brewery in Jacksonville, Florida. It's got 34 IBU, 4.8% ABV, and it doesn't have any ratings on Beer Advocate, so I don't know how this is going to compare. Now, from my information, Pilsner malt from Heidelberg, noble hops from Hallertau in Bavaria, and German yeast. So this is classified as a German Pilsner. You can see it's yellowish in color. When you first open it, it has quite a bit of foam. But it has dissipated. I poured it as gently as possible as to not stir up foam. And we're going to put that up against the one and only original true Pilsner, Pilsner Urquell. Or is it Urquell, or is it Urquell? Forgive me for not knowing how to pronounce this. In English, we would see that word and we'd say Urquell. But in Czech, I don't know how it's pronounced. Maybe Urquell, Urquell, Urquell. I have no idea. Urquell. So forgive me about that. This has an ABV score of 85 and 4.4% ABV. Both of these are low alcohol beers, 4.8 and 4.4. I consider a low alcohol beer anything under 5. Budweiser is 5, for example, as a reference point. That's American Budweiser. Although I believe the Czech Budweiser is also 5. Or in German, Budweiser. Pilsner Urquell has an IBU of 40, so slightly more bitterness units. And what I say the score was 85, I think it's, I have written down here 82. So, I could have swore it was 85, I don't know. Anyway, a clear difference in color between the two, where the Pilsner Urquell is noticeably darker, and this one is lemony colored. So, since I should be able to do this, the amount of foam on there might not give it away, so I should be able to do this blindfolded without knowing which one is which the moment it touches my mouth, because that happens, if I have a beer with a lot of foam, then as soon as I take a drink of it, then I know which beer it is. All right, we'll mix these up, and then we'll start sipping them. And maybe I should, not much of an aroma. Maybe it's me. Yeah, I really can't detect much of an aroma on either one of these. Although I will say that on the Pilsner Urquell website, it says to drink it with foam. It says foam seals in the aroma and flavor. But also, to me, foam kind of takes away some of the carbonation. So maybe I'll do this again with foam. Try to get some foam poured in both of these, and just to see. That's a good, well-balanced beer. Drinkable. Just the right amount of bitterness. No sawdusty, none of that dryness, or, like I say, sawdusty flavor or feeling to it. A bit more bitter. Also, very well balanced. Choosing the best one of these is going to be difficult. Generally, I like stronger beers, but it also has a lot to do with the flavor. So if it's a stronger beer, but the flavor isn't as good, then that's another thing. And I think the flavor of this one might be a little bit better. It's very smooth. That was smooth too, but just chasing this one with this one kind of, you gotta let your taste buds reset maybe. Because, I can still taste the beer in my mouth right now. So I'm gonna do it this one and then this one and see if there's a difference. This one has got some pointedness in it. That flavor is quite strong. At first and in the middle. I'll tell you, if you are drinking these beers and not drinking them quickly, you let them sit on the bar or with your meal, and it takes you several minutes, maybe 10, 15 minutes to drink one of these beers. By the time the beer, gets down to here, or more than halfway or so, depending, it's going to start going flat and kind of losing its flavor. So having a stronger beer has an advantage in that way, because, like I said, as the amount of beer goes down and it gets exposed and the carbonation evaporates or whatever it does, it starts getting more watery tasting and watery feeling. So a stronger beer is going to have an advantage based on that, in my opinion. So I'm going to drink these to the end, and then I'll be able to tell which one I would prefer to have another one of. But it's still got a good flavor on that one. And likewise, it is getting a little bit weaker, I think. Well, to be honest with you, if I had to choose to drink another one right now, I would choose this one, which is this one. I'm kind of surprised, although I shouldn't be, because I thought this would be the stronger beer. But it's not. This is the stronger tasting beer. But if I had to pour another one right now, I'm going to go for this one. If I had to buy another 6-pack of each of these beers, or a 6-pack of one of these beers, it would be this one. If I was out drinking somewhere and the only 2 beers they had were these 2, I would choose this one. So there you go. Another win for Europe. America, or the United States, I should say, has so many craft breweries, and a lot of them make really good beer. But also, a lot of them fall short compared to their European counterparts. Now, I've been doing a lot of lagers and pilsners, Helles, things like that, between American craft beers and European mass-produced beers, and I would say this is a mass-produced beer because it's common. It's been around for a long time. It is available pretty much everywhere in the United States. You go to any liquor store, that's worth its salt. A big one like ABC in Florida. Total Wine, or whatever you have where you live. This is probably going to be available, and it's good. There's not many places. If you go out in town or wherever and go to a bar, it's unlikely you're going to find this. I did find this in one place near on the Space Coast where I live, and I haven't been to every place on the Space Coast, so I've been to a few. And one place I found this was some Irish pub in Cocoa Beach, an Irish pub. Forgot the name of it, but it's actually on A1A. There are a couple Irish pubs there. One, I can't remember the name of it. I can't remember the name of any of the Irish pubs except for Hogan's, which is in Cocoa, not Cocoa Beach. But in Cocoa Beach, there's one that's on the causeway. Before you get to A1A, it's on the right. It's really close to the intersection of A1A and this road. But then you go south from there. You're at Ron John's and you go south and you go a mile or two. There's going to be this big shopping complex, and there's some kind of small Irish pub there, but it's not really even an Irish pub. They call themselves an Irish pub, but there's really nothing Irish about it. I don't even think they have Hart Blogger there. But they did have this, surprisingly. You can go to a few places. German restaurants will typically have German beers. But other than that, European beers are hard to find except for beers that are owned by the gigantic beer corporations, such as Stella, which is owned by Anheuser-Busch InBev, if that's still its name, but it's pretty much available everywhere. It's a Belgian beer. And when I go out to a bar and I want a lager or a Pilsner, they'll have Stella, and they'll have Bud Light Bud, Budweiser, they'll have maybe Miller or Miller Lite or whatever. I get the Stella because of all the lagers that they have available. That's about the best one. Anyway, I've been rambling on here. So now I'm going to do one other thing. Let's mix them together. And let's see how that turns out. Sometimes mixing them together produces a really good beer. Sometimes it doesn't. But there it is. That's pretty good. Pretty good. It retained a lot of the flavor and the balance of this, although this one was fairly well balanced too. But the added strength of this has enhanced this, so it's a little bit stronger, just a little bit. I like it, but I think I'd still go for this. I think this is still tops. This is one of the best beers that I've tried as far as lagers and pilsners go. I did a 32 beer bracket, triple elimination. So each beer had to lose 3 times before it was out. And this one did really well. I did this also side by side with another very well-known, famous Chechen beer called Budweiser, which I already mentioned. It's the original Budweiser on the cans from Budweis in German in Bohemia. But I'm not sure how the Czech pronounces it. It's a Budjovic. You'll have to forgive me for not understanding or being able to pronounce Czech words the correct way. I mean no disrespect, because I do have a lot of respect for the Czech Republic or the Czechia, and I would really love to go there, and I do plan on going there before I die. So, and there are a lot of good beers in Czechia. I was at a Eastern European restaurant recently. It's over in Tampa, and it's called Babushka's, which babushka is Russian for grandmother or old lady. They have a good selection of Eastern European beers, and one of them was Kozel, Kozel, which in Russian would be Kozyol. And there's a lot of similarities between the Czech language and Russian language, because they're both Slavic languages. But anyway, get off track here. Kozel, it means goat. So Kozel beer, I had a couple of those, and they're good. I could drink those. I just wish I could get them at the local liquor store here so I could bring it here and compare them to other beers. But anyway, even if you've been watching my videos, you see I like to compare American craft beers to European beers, and in most cases, the European beers wins. Every now and then you'll get a good American craft beer that I prefer. Anyway, video's getting too long. Thanks for watching. I'll make a follow-up to this where I pour them with foam. До свидания.